Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be playing the entirety of BONELAB as the Peasants. That's the starting character from Ascent or Descent, I don't remember, the first level. So the rules for this challenge are pretty easy. Every time I get swapped for a different avatar, I have to just change back to the Peasant. I have all of the Peasants on my arm, like the body log, so I can change into them. And I am allowed to kill everyone with guns and such. It's just the puzzles where you have to be someone else. It's going to be difficult. Alright, so this run begins like every other run, where I just have to roll the dice. For this run, it really doesn't matter because I still have all of them on my arm. And then I gotta do this again. And then escape again. You'd think they'd learn. And then I threw this torch through these rocks somehow. Then I picked up a brick to warn my enemies of my presence. And then I abandoned my torch for this key and never looked back. Then I used this brick to solve pretty much every problem that came my way. And dealt with this crablet the only way I knew how. And that means accidentally. After that, I was finally allowed to use a gun for the first time in one of these runs. They could make a grown man cry. So of course I instantly started killing everyone I saw. I still have a hatred towards the radios. Kind of felt bad after this. A new patch for the game came out recently, so I'll admire the environment sometimes. Like this one, they added a guide on how to open the gacha capsules. I think I got a little carried away being able to use weapons for the first time. Those guys with guns that were once a mild inconvenience are no longer even a challenge. I of course let our friend the box lover live, because why would I ever hurt him? I cannot say the same for this nobody though. To ensure my safety on the elevator ride, I stuck my crowbar into the wall. This gave me a little bit of leverage so I wouldn't hit the ground so hard. Of course this didn't work at all. As soon as I reached the BONELAB hub, I immediately went over to the avatar machine and made every single peasant a favorite, which locks them to my avatar log. As you can see, all the avatars on the body log are the peasants. With my new peasant log, I elbowed the button to open the quarantine zone, struggled with the plug for a second, and then gripped it with my other hand, which is for some reason stronger than the other. Did the stupid little crane puzzle, and jumped in the hole. On long run, I grabbed the typical Glock from the trash, loaded the gun, and swapped into a stronger peasant so the recoil wouldn't be as bad. Then I took out everyone in the room. And solved the most awesome puzzle, hell yeah! Then I turned this big yellow valve and picked up a second, not so trashy Glock. And then I killed this poor nobody who was just running for his safety. And then I dealt with these turrets the easy way. And then I ran by the most passive turret I've ever seen, who also refused to die. You know, dealing with these crablets is a lot easier when you have a gun. So I solved that puzzle pretty easily. And I was ready for this guy's ambush this time. And then I got the gun that made this run 10 times easier. With this gun, I could easily take out the people with guns. And this turret just did not care about me, so... The guy that commented about this skip is going to be tearing up because I actually did it this time. This room got a lot less stressful when I took out all these people with guns. I could take my time on the puzzles and climbing the pipe. I wanted to directly shoot these guys with my gun, but instead my tracking made me shoot the button, so... I pushed off the wall for this platform, but these people kept shooting, which slowed the momentum, so I tried to kill them, but they just kept respawning. When I pushed this platform out, it kind of ended up being slightly ajar, so I think it landed on someone. The long run part of long run was really easy because I just decided to take out everyone that would shoot at me from above, so I could just run past with nobody shooting at me. And boom, we're on to Mine Dive. Now I knew Mine Dive was going to be a long and gory battle, so I prepared, loaded all my weapons, and then fell asleep on the ride. I ended up getting a score of 145. That's a personal record. To celebrate, I got eaten by this big rock statue. Up next is Big Anomaly. Now this would normally be a problem because of the enemies in the hallway, but since I can use the MP5 provided, it was super easy. After clearing out the hallway, I went into this vent, and then punched open this other vent. I hate the shotguns in this game, so I only use this once. Then I swapped back to the AR because it's just so much better. Next, I practically executed this nobody, and then I dealt with this purple nobody. And while I was looting, he just came back to life. Then I used this key on this door, and you could swear I was ready for this guy or something. And then I dealt with this vent and these two nobodies at the same time. And then I dealt with another nobody. And then I dealt with like 3 people with guns, I think. At this point, I was confident I could deal with anyone, so I just rushed in. I could, in fact, deal with anyone. Then Jimmy gave me the body log, and oh, silly Jimmy, I already filled this with peasants. The first level is Street Puncher. We swap into the strong avatar, but we can just swap back. You know, we're pretty strong as peasants. This level let us keep our guns, so it's pretty easy. You just shoot everyone. For the end of the level, I was pretty sick of just shooting everyone, so I decided to kill the last guy by slamming a bottle into his head. The next level is Bridge. Now, you may think this level is really easy because there's no enemies, but I don't have the fast avatar. This first part's pretty easy. I just have to take my time and walk places instead of jump. Now this is the part where things get mildly difficult. That's a really big jump that I'm gonna have to make on the way back. Moving this big heavy box isn't that hard because they made it for the fast avatar that isn't very strong to begin with. Now this is the hard part because this is the really big jump that I have to make to get back. Here's my funny little self-pep talk.
That's possible.
You're goddamn right it will. Now for this part, I decided just why not break the game to avoid every single bit of parkour. With this glitch, I could literally just walk to the exit. I didn't have to do any of the parkour. And with that level done, we were on to Magma Gate, which if you remember from the unarmed episode was actually possible with no weapons, so this is just a little bit easier. Although I don't have the strength of the heavy avatar, I had the guns, so, you know, guns are better than strength sometimes.
Hell are coming for you, so plant your feet.
This level started off pretty easy with just like these blue zombie things and these skeletons. But then these metal skeletons got introduced, and I did not know how to kill them, because bullets would not do anything to them, so I just had to rely on these lava skeletons to shoot the big lava orbs at them to kill them. After a while of defending, everyone just kind of collapsed all of a sudden. And the tower had this really weird health number, so, you know, I just took that as my sign to leave. Up next was On the Moon. This one wasn't that difficult because, you know, all it does is make you really small. They did make some changes to this map though. They added a big stone structure that tells you where to go and a few jump pads to make things go faster, which is pretty nice. But you know, same old On the Moon. Just push the big button in the middle of the space station. And after that was Monogon Motorway. I'm a pro at this level, so...
Behind the wheel. We need drivers.
But I did notice this new sign that said you can just walk the laps, but, you know, only losers would do that. So of course I drove every lap like a boss. And after that, all I had to do was push the big red button. And after that was the dreaded pillar climb.
You are now 1 mile tall. Use that height to grab.
Although shortly into the level, I noticed that these void birds weren't hitting me anymore. I'm pretty sure they just straight up removed randomly changing. I didn't have to keep swapping into the peasant anymore. I struggled to push this button, so I used the newly provided greatsword to push it. Right after I appeared, I got aimbot headshot and died. Well, actually, I didn't die. I saved myself and then got hit and then died, so that was pretty awesome. On the second go, I didn't instantly die. I couldn't reach the elevator, so I had to hook my arm around these weird spike things and just ride my way up. And then I grabbed this piece of wood and crawled over to the platform where I was supposed to be. After reaching the top, I noticed the entirely different environment. Everything was so much clearer. I could tell that I had to shoot the orb because it left a circular mark whenever I shot it and gave this big visual effect. The boss fight was also 10 times easier if you didn't approach it, so pillar climb was actually kind of bearable. And just like that, we were already back meeting with Jimmy, where he gave us the key and sent us back to the hub.
I'll see you topside.
You know the drill. We push the big red button, the alarms go off. We break the box, we go up. Now, I thought this part was going to be a real challenge, not being able to use heavy to move the balls. For some reason, I just got lucky and moved them really easily. The white ball didn't require much pushing and it instantly went back into the hole where it needed to. For the next ball, I opted to deal with the one red skeleton. These skeletons didn't have any pathfinding, so it was just a really awkward stare. And then pushed the button on the ceiling. That ball went into its hole with only a little bit of pushing. Now I had to take this axe and break these pieces of wood. It was at this moment that my quest told me it was about to die, so I had to stop recording for now. Alright, I'm gonna keep it 100% honest, I just no-clipped to where I was because I didn't feel like doing all that again. Alright, now we're back where we were, so what I did is I took this blue ball and just pushed it into the blue hole. Shocking. And then I went back and pushed the orange ball down this blue hole into the orange hole. And then I grabbed this punching thing that makes punchy things go far. And I used it to punch the green ball into the green hole. Also, I don't know why the constant red gradient is around the screen, it's kind of weird. Okay, so I reloaded the scene to get rid of the red gradient, and now every single texture is messed up, but the gradient's gone, so that's okay. Now I have to kill this entire room full of nobodies with a shotgun, and I hate shotgun. Alright, after killing the entire room full of nobodies, I get to push this button that's supposed to be red, but it's blue. And then I get to kill this funny looking skeleton, and that fixes my textures. And now I get to do some awesome parkour. I thought I had to be tall to grab this rope, but luckily I could just jump and grab it. And then I got to use this epic zip line and kill this annoying little robot. And then I pushed this button to go flying upwards and used the shotgun momentum to move me towards this platform and got an invisible shell somehow. I expected the skeleton to be sitting in the chair, but I guess he's hungover or something. I put him out of his misery. Then I stole the key to his home and unlocked this door with it. There were 2 Uzis waiting for me, which was pretty nice because I lost all my guns. And then 2 nobodies tried to get me, so of course I sprayed them down. I then watched this nobody fall to his death and solved this annoying puzzle. Then I made sure this crablet was really dead and watched as this poor guy practically killed himself. And then I practically broke the entire game by trying to find an alternate route. Which ended up killing me. But then I actually used my brain and brought a box over to make me actually tall so I could grab the ropes. And then I climbed to the top of the rope and climbed across these pipes. After that, I almost died. But due to my quick thinking, I survived. And then I did an awesome skip because I'm so awesome and fast. Getting into these pipes at first was kind of difficult because you're supposed to be the tiny cat, but you know, I made it. Making my way through the vents wasn't that hard, except for the fact that I was way too big to be in there. After making my way through the vents, I got launched way too far, so I just had to die so I could respawn up top. They call me the master of planning. My plan up here was to jump on this pipe and slowly make my way to the battery. And my plan actually worked for once. The second step of my plan was to bring this box over to where I need to put the battery so I can actually reach it. After doing some, finagling, I got it to fit. And the box gave me just enough height to reach. Now I could just jump across and deal with this nobody. But then this other nobody just hacked and threw his thing through the wall. Alright, now this is where a mild problem came in. I can't use the fast avatar, so I just have to rely on my leg speed. I mean, I was going, just not that fast, so... To celebrate, I killed this nobody. And then I had to clear out this hallway thing. And then I had to deal with these two crablets that were doing something. I was then quickly reminded of why I don't use shotguns. Then I had to do some awesome parkour. Then I had to crash the third nobody party of my career. And then I got the gun that makes the run easy again. And then I had to clear this alley of people with guns. And then I had to fight both nobodies and people with guns. And then clear out this train station lobby. And then I had to kill a couple of nobodies. To avoid the train, I came up with this really weird strat where if you lay on the ground, the train won't hit you. I have to do this because I'm not as fast as the fast avatar usually is, so I won't make it to the next stop in time. I only had to do this twice, which is pretty nice. It didn't take me too long, it was just a lot of hiding, but I made it. Then I had to pry these doors up, which was a lot harder than I thought it would be. Then I had to open this door and deal with everyone in this room. Then I had to make my way through this empty room. I made sure to check for the empty capsule, and yeah, it's still there. Then I avoided the platform just for a minute so I could go kill this crablet and grab this capsule that I missed. And then I stepped on the elevator. And we did it. We reached the final level as Only the Peasants. After massacring this whole town that tried to hang me at the beginning of the game, I walked into a room that had only a windmill. After a few seconds, Jimmy's hand poked through the roof and stopped the windmill from spinning, and then I climbed it, and I didn't fall, you fell. Then I gripped Jimmy's index finger and waved goodbye to the windmill as Jimmy pulled me into heaven.
Look, folks, this stainless steel signature edition blade will cut through.
I take it back, this isn't heaven. I get Jimmy's car started by pushing it.
Hey, there you are.
And hop in the back with really no questions.
Right, all right.
And then I do the thing where I point at Monster Energy and panic, and then Jimmy forces me out of the taxi in the middle of nowhere.
Hey.
And then I wave goodbye. And with that, we beat BONELAB with Only the Peasant avatars. I'm running out of challenge ideas, so, comment those below. If you like this video, like, subscribe, all that. Let me know if I did anything wrong, but I don't know what I could do wrong as luck as a peasant. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, if there is.